Welcome back today, guys. How y'all doing?
Rock.
How y'all doing? Welcome back to the
Damn What Now podcast.
Yup.
And your favorite speakers are
Melissa.
Valentine,
Stephanie,
Sophie.
and if you know, you know.
Period.
Are y'all ready to get into it?
let's get into it.
So we're gonna start off today with the damn news.
What's going on?
Damn What Now.
Okay. You guys know Two-Face. You guys know Two-Face?
Yeah, I do.
No.
He had
You are my African
African Queen. You gotta sing that
girl,
song.
the girl of my dreams.
So he's having his 6th kid outside of his marriage. Recently. He
Yeah,
had
'cause
5
remember-
kids outside of his marriage. But
Remember
recently
when we
he's
watched
having
Young
6.
African and Rich, and she was saying that was his 5th kid? After now this is his 6th. So he cheated on her
That's
again.
crazy. Because I don't know if y'all seen the show, but she literally had a whole breakdown and everything. And I
They're
thought
still together though.
They're still together.
She still
be
posts
mean.
about him.
Jesus, God forbid. God
no,
forbid.
because blood of Jesus, watch over me. I can't be in that situation.
6 kid outside. 6.
Didn't she say her third child was his
Was
third
his-
child?
No,
was
her
first
third
child.
Her third child was his 5th child.
No.
No, the first child she had with him was his third child.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so his third child was her first child.
So 6 kids out the marriage.
Jesus
And mind you, he cheated on her with a banker. Hey,
A banker?
she's a banker.
A banker.
A banker. She works at the bank.
She went to the bank and he went to the bank.
She hit the bank because she.
Please
But
don't.
I honestly even at the first chance I would have some side of some. Okay, I can't be in that much love. Like there's never.
That's not
I don't know what kind of love that is to still be in that relationship. Like yes, you can definitely work through things and overcome certain challenges, but I can't work through a challenge.
No, that's not working
I
through a
can't
kid is not
work
working through a challenge.
Because at the end of the day, he's attached to these other women because he's raising their children.
Exactly.
So
I don't
Okay,
know.
my mouth.
See, you never say never because we've seen
never
situations,
say never.
real life.
I'm saying never
that
for me.
happen. For me, in Jesus' name.
That is
Jesus'
We're
name,
never gonna
That's
have
never
that
for
one.
me.
Will never happen to me.
Let a man have a baby on me.
The
Murder.
The God that
if I have
not
0
allowed.
babies,
Why?
you have 0
Zero
babies.
babies.
When I have one, then you can
We
have your
have
one.
one.
And it's the one we are sharing.
Exactly.
It's the
Not
one we're
that math
sharing.
is very nothing. It's very.
Yes.
But that
yes.
calculation, I
These
see that my
calculations-
father is your father.
That and even calculation.
I
And
can't
now that
do
we're
it.
together, you even have.
But my
6
thing
kids
is,
on meal.
how many, there's no way he's gonna even want to financially take care of that many kids.
But you know what I mean.
I think he
Money.
can. He
No, he has
can.
money, but it's like, as a guy, when you hear, oh, I got another girl pregnant outside my marriage and she's keeping the baby, you're like, damn.
No, it's different for him. He's in a different tax bracket. He's literally
Yeah,
rich.
he's
rich.
So that's why he has that's why he's affordable.
But I
able
don't
to do
agree
this.
with, I don't know, guys like that kind of scare me. Like, just because you have money doesn't mean you should be popping kids in and out like
No,
that.
women who stay scare me. Just tell the truth. Are you staying for the money? Because it can't be love. Like
It can't.
It
be.
can.
If you
I think she stayed
That's
for
not-
love.
that's not-
You saw
I-
how she was on the show?
That was.
She was
in love.
She was in love with
no,
him.
and she was also traumatized. She broke down.
Yes, she isn't traumatized, but the thing is, she has
That's
so
not
much
love.
love for him.
That's not love. I think she's just
No,
attached and
when you're
comfortable.
getting continually disrespected like this, and someone's to
You
continually
could
stepping out the
still.
marriage,
You
you have to sit back and understand, like, okay, I need to love myself as well and have respect for
Yes.
myself. But letting yourself be put through this trauma, she was literally crying, breaking
But
down.
we
Yes.
can't. We
At
can't.
what point do you
we
be for
can't
real?
undermine like somebody's love for somebody because they're being
We're
mistreated.
not. I mean, that's not.
Yes, he treats her bad, but she is still in love, or she thinks she's still in love.
That's the one.
exactly? She thinks she's in love. That's not love.
Exactly.
Love is
That's
a two-way
Stockholm
street.
syndrome.
It's sounding like a one-sided love.
That's not love. That's
Child,
anyway.
Not my business. Not my baby either.
Not my
so.
business and not my baby.
no, I'm just
my
glad I'm not
baby.
in this situation, and never.
Speaking of African men, what are some things that you like about African men?
Not too fast, y'all.
Oh
Let me even start.
no, like be for real. Like, what are some things that you guys like about
Me
African
personally, I like my African men.
No, I love African
I
men,
love
too.
African men. I do.
men? Everything.
Can't admit that publicly.
And it's so hard. It takes a lot out of me to
Yeah.
admit
So
that I love
I
African
hate to love them.
men.
Like
It
I
really
can't
does.
help to love them.
Yes.
But it's
But I
love
think
African
it's
men.
just like the sense of humor. Sometimes they can just make you laugh.
Yeah.
I like to
Yes.
laugh, and
They are very
I like
funny.
that they can add to my humor, and it doesn't like it feels like home. You know what I mean? Like I'm back to my culture, my roots.
When you have that shared community, that shared background.
I don't have to explain why I'm saying this thing in an accent. It's just like, they understand. I can still keep it doing what I gotta do.
Having on the I don't have to explain, like, especially like culture wise. Like, the reason why I really do love my African men is that they understand culture.
Period.
They understand that you have to greet this auntie. You have to talk to you have to talk to mommy. You have to respect daddy.
Right.
You have to, you know.
Like also like adding onto that, it's an African culture is a certain way. Like the good men, I'm not gonna say all the men because there's definitely some bad apples. But for the good men, African men know how to treat their women. It's just a different type of love that I
like.
Can only get.
If a guy, trust me, African men can, if like she said, if it's a good man who really cares for you and only you, you're the only one that he sees, he will spoil you so bad without you even having to
pay
ask.
that dowry, no question.
No question.
You will
give
know.
You the goats, no question.
One thing, if they love you, you will know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unconditionally, you will
really
know.
will know. And it'll be a love that it can at times feel overwhelming, but it's something good
my
for
baby,
life
my
for the
sweet
girl.
My baby, my Valentine.
Being loved by an African man is definitely
it's a different type of love. It makes you that comfort, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just like
definitely that
It
relating.
makes you want to be an auntie. Like, let me have some kids.
Yeah.
Let me just cook.
Let me
Like,
cook
I don't
the rest
know.
for Tata
I would like to
Free.
marry an African man.
I
Honestly.
would. Would you guys marry an African man?
That
I'm
is
already with
fine.
an African man.
Oh, for sure.
God has blessed
Love
you.
it here.
But I'm waiting for my blessing. One day, one time.
Let it come.
He'll bring it to
Let
me.
come and
It's
just
on his
boom
way.
on you.
But you know, let's not give these men their flowers like that.
Please, not like that.
Yeah, because
What are some toxic traits that African men
possess?
Cheaters, liars. They want to keep all their money to themselves.
They said this too fast. No.
literally the what is it? It's like I don't want to say their confidence, or it's just they're very what's the word? I don't know.
They think that they're always right.
They think they're very stubborn sometimes.
Yes.
They can be very stubborn.
Mm.
This is what I'm looking
Jesus
for.
Lord.
No, but they are very stubborn. African men is
Very prideful too.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, prideful.
Yeah, that's what it is.
They're definitely a lot like, and it could be such a turn off. Like, it's good for someone to have pride, but it's like for you to have pride with everything that you do, like, you need to relax.
just because Uncle said that you are king.
Yeah, it does not mean you're actual king in your world. Yeah, but this is Sophie's world.
Like there's toxic masculinity and then there's African men.
Yes.
You know,
When I'm so serious.
toxic masculinity can be here. African men can be up here.
The thing is, you could be in a situation and they're completely wrong. The sky is blue. They will say yellow. They will keep with the yellow.
Yes.
With no matter what, they'll be like, yeah, it's
I also
yellow.
feel like
And they
African
don't
men
want to.
can be very aggressive sometimes.
Yes, 100%.
Very aggressive.
I would also say that like African men, it's like, you know, that saying like you can't teach old dog new tricks. Whatever they believe is what they believe.
100%.
Yeah, you can't change
Like,
their mind.
especially like, you know how the world is changing and how we're being more accepting of different things. African men, I beg, they will not change, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But like I said, it's two sides to that penny. It depends on which guy you meet, because there are some, especially the younger ones, and maybe our generation.
Yeah, our generation. Yeah.
They're
It's
more
getting a little better.
It's getting a little bit, but the old heads.
Yeah, like
the
what we've
uncles.
seen, like our uncles do and maybe some of our fathers do.
Heavy on the fathers.
Yo,
Sorry.
let's not get into that
Love
one
you,
yet.
Now let's get into that one.
Toxic
Jesus
African men.
Christ. Fathers.
I love them though. It's a toxic love. No, it's a healthy love. Mine is a healthy love. I love health.
Yeah, claim health, please.
Please claim. But I would never put healthy and toxic in the same sentence.
It's
What am I doing?
the duality. It's they go hand in hand. How do I say?
Don't. No, that is oil and water. Please never mix. Not once, never twice. No. I am healthy and that's it. Toxicity, please keep it at the door, and I'll close the door too. Shut.
Amen.
And I see that, like, especially what Stephanie said, like, their new generation of African men is very different, like, and I'm loving it. You know, they're more accepting, they're more, like, you know, loving, and, you know, they want to treat their queen, and, you know, all this, all that. But, like, what we've seen before, I'm not talking about, like, you know, obviously not every African father was like this, or every African uncle was like this, but, like, how they used to treat, like, our parents. Like, how does that, did that change your view on, like, whether or not you want to marry an African?
Yes, I definitely
For a while.
I definitely like looking at my parents' relationship, that they sort of, because like the first sign of love you look at is from your home, and when you're looking for a partner, it's like you can't help but to think of your parents
Right.
and see how they interact. And so my parents specifically, I never saw that love. I've never seen them hold hands, hug, stuff like that. So I'm just thinking like, am I really gonna be with an African man if this is what life is like?
I feel like it made me question, but I don't think it made me like be like, oh nah. Like at some point I probably was never like, oh nah. I just thought like, yeah, he's just acting like that because that's just him. Like I never related it to because he was African. I was just like, yeah, this man is just.
For me, it was more so like I seen like the treatment, and I was like, I didn't like cut off African men. I just cut off my own. Like I was just like, I would never marry a Kenyan man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
That one's still.
No, that one is.
I still can't be with a Kenyan man.
No, I can't.
It cuts too deep.
There's literally like there's no.
But then that's still you still have that stigma though.
Yeah, because that's what you saw, and like even like I feel like that's.
I'll get that. I'll get stigma tatted on me then if I don't get it.
If you were to act like a Nigerian girl right now, she'd probably be like, no,
I never met Nigerian. I'm not gonna lie for a quick minute. It's a hard confession to confess, but I say nothing but no lies over here. But I used to just like white men. Yeah,
she should have kept that one in the vault.
I had to be honest and transparent, and it only was based on how I was raised. When I was younger, I went to predominantly white schools. Like I was only like black girl, me and my sister. So all we were around with, what we watched, it was like white people, and what was presented in the TV is white love. So I never got a healthy understanding of black love because it's all, when I go back home, it's dad da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay, what I'm seeing on TV and what I'm seing around me, I don't think that's love. So I'm gonna pivot my direction to what is meant what is presented by the world and the media. So I just thought that was love. But now it's more like, once I left, I stopped thinking that freshman year of high school.
Eesh.
Yeah.
That's early. Me, it stopped like
freshman year of high school. That's when I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I'm fine with black men. But the problem was, even African or black men, when I was in high school, they didn't like dark-skinned girls. So I was like the odd one out. Nobody loved dark-skinned girls. So I was like, they don't love me, so why should I love them? So type of thing. So.
But
I also
love them
now. Especially what you just said at the end, like colorism within the African community.
Oh, Jesus.
Lord have mercy.
That's also another thing that, like, it took a while for me to start saying, like, okay, maybe I would start dating an African man. Because I did see African men treat African women, like, dark-skinned women, amazing. And I was like, oh, my gosh, like, I want that. But then on the other side of the coin, I've seen African men, like, there's nothing wrong with, obviously, marrying outside your race. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. But then, again, do not put down the other side.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. I can get into that one. Colorism.
I feel like what Melissa said, how she felt like she was only into white men. For me, it was never really like I never really looked at it like, because I feel like I went to a pretty diverse school. Yeah, like I was around a lot of like diverse people. Where I lived, it was like Hispanics, black people, white people. My school, it was very diverse. So for Melissa, it's obviously very different. Yeah. But for me, I never really looked at it as like a skin color type of thing. I was just like, who's cute? Who's not cute? Like, come on, like, where's the man? Like, I definitely was into anything and everything. You know what I'm saying? Little fast little girl. So, yeah.
But yeah, it definitely did change.
It does change.
Your environment does really does impact like who you like.
Yeah,
and how
it definitely does. It definitely does.
Especially like like. We're going to go back to that colorism thing because I feel like that's really important.
Yes, 100%.
Like, the African guys that I used to like, or like, the ones I used to think that were really cute, the girls that they would like and show on Instagram look nothing like me.
Yeah. Ladies, if you want to know what type of girl a man likes, go through his following.
Right.
Go through his following. And if you scroll and it's a whole bunch of girls that look exactly the same, no offense, but if it's light skins with curly hair, blue eyes, exactly the same, unfollow that man.
Not even if all the previous girls he's been in relationships with don't look nothing like you, leave. Because
or if they all look the same, that man has a type.
With that, I do disagree. I agree and I disagree with, Because sometimes you just dealt with cards and you dealt with cards. Doesn't mean you like those set of cards. It's just, hey, like this is what I was presented with.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I want to stick with that. But with the following thing, I definitely think that because you're choosing to follow that.
Yeah, you're choosing to follow that.
That's the thing.
And social media presents you with so many different types of
and you choose to stay with the same, like
that.
You like all the light skin Aisha pineapple heads, like the curly heads. Like
yes.
How many light skin Aishas like are you
like,
gonna follow?
And then
curly head pineapple head.
I got a story time.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So I used to talk to this guy, right? And he told me I'm acting the way I do just because I'm dark skinned.
God forbid.
Shoot me in the mouth.
Nonsense.
And let me tell you,
Jesus.
he told me I was lucky because he has
you could even stop
dark skin.
You could even stop
and
right there.
That's the only reason why he's gonna tolerate it.
You can even stop.
And you let him finish that sentence.
Tolerate, Volley. As soon as he said you're lucky, stop right there. That's all you have to finish. I'm not lucky for nothing. I'm not lucky for nothing. Are you dumb? You're lucky.
The woman was too stunned to speak. I couldn't say
literally.
anything. I was like, "There's no way," and it really shows. And that was coming from an African American man. No, not like he was a foreign man. He was like Haitian. And with black men, like I had a friend. She was dating this African man. His lock screen was Ruby Rose. Mind you, she's dark skinned.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. It's hard. It's harder for dark skins. Like even though they say, "Oh, like it's the same. You're a black woman," but it's not. I'm just sorry. It's a different set of rules and regulations for us.
The reality of it is, you cannot tell somebody that. Like for me, like you can't tell me that just because I'm like brown, dark skin, that I had an easier life than a lighter person. A lighter person, in reality, black men like light skinned girls because that's the closest that they can get to a white woman without getting any scrutiny for
that's
it.
the one.
And that's the reality of it. That's point blank, period.
And you know why? It also ties into like why a lot of women in Africa decide to bleach their skin.
Yes.
There's still aunts, grandmas still bleaching their skin because they don't like how dark they are. And then because men want light women.
And then on top of that, those aunts and mothers that are bleaching their skin are also projecting their insecurities.
They have kids, and their kids are dark skin, and their mom is bleaching their skin.
And they start bleaching them kids when they're like what?
That was projected to me. That was projected to me, but not my mom, but my aunt. She used to use it all the time. So I was like, well, like she's getting all this attraction. That's how I'm supposed to be. So I would sneak in and try. But child, thank God I stopped because I do love my dark skin. I do. No matter if a guy not everyone's gonna be for you. I want the right person for me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't need the
You're
whole
gonna find somebody
quantity.
who likes you for you, and that's it, and that's enough. So you just gotta find that person.
That's that stigma within the African culture that I really wish it could change because it's just
like I've heard people say, I don't want to be with this person because I'm dark and they're dark and I don't want to have a dark baby.
Ooh, what? Does that even make any sense? Does that even make any sense?
Or those girls that I'm going to marry like a white man or whatever because I want a light skinned baby. That is not okay.
That's weird. First of all, if you're dark, there's a 50% chance that baby's going to come out in the same exact skin color as you, even if you marry a white man.
It's science.
It's literally
biology.
Science. That baby's not gonna come caramel just because you married a white man and you're dark. That's not how that works.
And they be upset.
In the summer, that baby about to be just as dark as you.
And they be upset when their kid come out and it's the summertime and you're like, ooh,
he's
dark.
Now you trying to bleach your
get inside Jade in your sunscreen.
Like what? Let him be who he is. You look like him.
That's what they name all the light
skin babies. I just think that African men, if you're listening, love your women, love your community,
love your culture.
No matter what skin color,
exactly.
Type,
even if you don't like dark skinned women or whatever, do not put them
Which
down.
Is odd.
Like speak up because those are the same women that are going to speak up for you when it's time for you.
Not even that. You have family members, your mother, your sisters, your aunts.
And if
there's dark skinned women in your family, what do you mean?
The gag is, if you let skin color define who you date, you're just as bad as a racist white man.
Amen.
Y'all have been so tainted by the white male gaze or whatever
that y'all following them.
What do you mean? Like, oh, I don't want to be with this person because they're dark. You yourself are dark.
Like literally, like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand the disconnect.
So you never want to be with yourself. You never want to look in the mirror. You never want to be in a room by yourself. It's not.
It's giving self-hate. That's a lot of self-hate.
That's a lot of self-hate. It's a lot of insecurities.
And then go online and bash. As a black man, why are you
bashing black women?
Your wife or he's gonna get children who are gonna be dark or black. So you're bashing black women. Are you okay? Is it okay in your head? What's going on?
There's something wrong with that.
Like, what's going on?
It's even empty up there.
No, definitely empty.
What I don't understand, person A, person B, I can have more qualities than another person, and they could be light skinned, but they gonna still choose a light skin because they present well. I have all the qualities that you're looking for in a woman, but you choose not to have me because my skin color. Doesn't mean both of us are not pretty. Now we're both equally pretty, but you just like the light because
you
let
skin color play. Y'all let skin color play in so many decisions that it shouldn't even matter what the skin color is.
It shouldn't.
If
that whole thing of dark skin, light skin. Oh, you know, remember when people used to go around in the malls, dark skin or light skin?
What
are you asking?
What are you asking?
What are you asking?
You might as well better ask. The better question to ask is colored only or white only door. That's the same question.
That's what you're asking me. Like, I don't know.
This is not Jim Crow. Like, come on.
And do you guys think that there's a difference when you're dating an African man versus like how African man acts during dating versus how African man acts during marriage?
Well, I've never been in a marriage, but
have you seen
I think it's hard to say because the African men that we date are of a younger generation, and the African men that we see are older. Yeah. But I guess from the younger generation, they present more like they take both of their traditional and their modern ways, and they mash it up and be like, this is how I'm gonna treat my significant other based on what I see and based on my traditional roots. But I think it's harder in marriages because it's like, you're not supposed to talk to me like that. You're my wife. You're not because you're my wife. Don't do that.
And we never really see the affectionate side of that. Like, when I look at African couples in marriage, I don't really. I'm thinking because I've only seen older African people in marriage. I don't really see more of that affectionate side. Like, they're not into as PDA as maybe the younger generation. Like nowadays, you know us, like you know how
I love on
but
you.
Get down. Now they like to bump out.
But I also feel like a part of the reason why it's like that is because most of those older marriages were they're arranged marriages. So they're not even like people that they would even want to be with. So of course that they're not gonna want to be all touchy feely with somebody that they never even want to be with, even though you've been married with them for so many years.
Yes and no for that one. Yes and no.
You think if you were put in an arranged marriage?
No, but I'm saying, but not most of those marriages.
There's some
I'm talking about the older marriages.
There's some marriages like not all cultures. I mean, not all. Countries in Africa, you have arranged marriage.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
But
I'm saying the ones.
There's some people who
I think it's most.
I don't think it's most. There are people who fall in love, but then it's like they don't show that side when they're like 20, 30 years down the line because of issues that go in their family.
Yeah, like do you think like when you're dating like a girl African man right now, like obviously he's more modern than like maybe his dad or whatever. Do you think like the only thing is just like like, do you guys are afraid, like, once you marry him, like, those traits will come out? Or my dad did this with my mom.
I can see the parallels.
Yeah.
I can see it come out. Oh, you're showing your dad. Oh, I see what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
I can see it come out. But I feel like it's something, like, with your partner, something that you can correct to be like, I don't want this for our relationship. Moving forward. Communicate about that.
I think more so what makes me nervous about being with an African man is his African mom. Like, because one thing about African mothers,
they love their
God, and their sons,
they love their sons.
Like this.
That's my son.
And you already know
my baby.
You already know they're already in that traditional mindset or whatever. And I'm already African as well, so it's like they already expect me to have certain values.
Yeah.
And in African communities, family is a really big thing, and everyone's like so involved with each other. And so I can be with my boyfriend who's more modern and more accepting of like understanding like the roles we play for each other. But like when you're going to family gatherings, it's like they're gonna ask you, does she cook? Did she cook you your food?
Does she cook?
Did she clean?
Does she clean? Does she clean nice?
Exactly.
Are you planning on
doing
food soon?
Top.
Exactly.
You could have even gotten another one who could have even done this for you.
Exactly.
My friend has a nice girl. She didn't marry.
And when they hate you, they hate you.
Yeah, once they hate you, they hate you.
And it's hard because like if you don't have that like conversation with your partner and like let them know like sort of like to set that boundary between your relationship and your family's views on you guys' relationship, it can get a little hard. And I feel like that's what happens in some relationships. Like yes, I'm with this person, but like, oh, their family's crazy because they don't like what I do. Like they're not they're not like used to like our modern ways.
Right.
So there's like a disconnect. Like, oh, I can't be with you because like your family just doesn't accept. And also their family's also talking in your partner's ear like, oh, they're not doing this for you. They don't act like this. They didn't follow certain traditions.
Any chance they get.
Literally, like they weren't behaving so manner. They took something in disrespect. So I feel like that also plays a big part in being with an African man or even woman.
Like, you guys, like, since we're talking about modern, like, African men or whatever, do you feel like the culture is being lost in that as well? Like, you know how our parents used to, like, explain how they courted, like, you know, our moms and stuff like that.
It is.
They had to ask this person. They had to go through all these
people.
Yeah, I do
have a whole family meeting.
I do think
and then
on top,
on top of, like, you know, going through all these people, you know, there was, like, some, not all cultures in Africa, obviously, but some had, like, a dowry, or you have to buy a gift for the parents and stuff like that. Do you feel like that is being lost?
I think it is, in a certain extent, based on the dating aspect. But when it comes to actually getting into the marriage aspect, you, no matter where you are in the country or in the region, you're definitely going to pay that dowry. You definitely are.
Yeah, you have to pay my dowry.
But regardless, in the dating aspect, African men right now, Jesus, they want to just bomb. That's all they want.
I definitely think it is being lost, but I also feel like the whole courting aspect, like obviously times are gonna change. We're getting, like Molly said, everything is just more modern now. But I still think that it really is being lost because some guys, they just expect a lot of stuff to be handed to them. Like, oh, well, let me get her flowers. Now she's my girlfriend because I got her flowers. Like, that's not, you gotta put in more effort. Like, you really have to grafting. You have to graft, please.
I do agree that it's being lost to some extent, though. I don't think that all aspects of the culture is being lost because at the end of the day, like most, like from the young couples I've seen like young African couples get married. They definitely always keep when it comes to like partying and keeping the wedding tradition, I definitely see that still being kept or whatever.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
And the food, of course. But when I'm thinking about as in like certain values and like certain like mannerisms are being lost. I don't want to say like the culture, like the food. I definitely think the food is still there. The how we gather and how we sort of like celebrate like and have certain but like for example, like certain like cultural like just certain mannerisms.
Like for example, a lot of African like men right now, like our age, they're not going to agree with this, but African men back then, they would pay for literally everything. Yeah. They are the providers. They take care of their women, and their women would be home like taking care of their kids naturally because they don't have anything else that they need to do because the men does it for them. But now you ask a man our age if they're going to pay all the bills, they're going to start cursing you out and be like, why do I have to pay all these bills?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly. And it's crazy.
It's like an entitlement thing.
It's funny because it's like when African men do say like, oh, I'll always go 50-50. My wife got to go 50-50. And it's like you're looking at your own household and you're seeing your dad pay all the bills.
All the bills.
And you're seeing your mom take care of the house and take care of
and you're still wanting to know why.
And then just because, you know, you've seen something on social media that says, oh, you shouldn't do that, does not necessarily mean that you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel like, I definitely agree with you. I feel like social media has definitely played a big role, not just in African communities, but like in a lot of communities with how dating aspects go, like what certain people expect.
I think it's different because, again, I don't know exactly how it is in Africa, but where we live right now, it's like we live in a culture where the Western, like, you know, society is more controlling on how you think and what you're doing. Yeah. Like if you live in like England, that's, you know, we're still having that, like, okay, we're still following like the Western culture. But I guess in Africa, I don't know, but I think it might be different on how they present themselves because they don't have that that, you know, persona that they have to
especially
live
with
up
like
to.
The courting thing, like I feel like that did definitely change also because of social media, because like if you go to your parents right now, like, you know, they all believe wait till marriage or dress like this and stuff like that. For like, and now it's like, oh my girl, I gotta see the nyash first.
Yes. If you don't have nyash,
if you don't have
nyash,
I cannot talk to you.
That's
but back
then,
your dad wasn't looking for nyash. She was looking for, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, I hope.
They don't now. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but are you guys dating to marry?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
okay. But I think
dating for what else would I be dating for?
Games
for a lot of African men, I wouldn't say majority of them, but a good portion of them don't date to marry.
Yeah,
they're just dating to date.
And you know what's funny? A lot of African men know who they're gonna marry too, but they're still going to
date different. They want to try everything.
You know that you're gonna marry African women, but you're out here dating all these Hispanic women. Mm-hmm. But you know that none of those women are wifey material because you want to bring home an African woman.
And you know your mom wouldn't accept
exactly.
But you still go. You say, let me just do test round. Let me do everything. Do all my fuel out. So when I have to sit down.
World tour. And now you're wondering why you go on Twitter and everybody's like, "Yo, African men are crazy."
Yeah.
Like.
I've had a story about an African man. He definitely did trick me, child.
Oh yeah. Trick or treat.
He got you good.
He caught me so
African
bad.
Men can really catch you.
He got
they know how to really keep your attention and then just
that's Stephanie said earlier, like African men know how to treat women, so they will make you feel like the only gal.
Yes.
And mind you,
and then when you ask them, and then when you ask them, am I the only one? Are you dumb? You're not the only. Like,
what do you mean? Like,
something nonsense. What are you talking? You're giving me headaches.
Or it's even that, or they'll be like, of course you are. They'll definitely they will make you believe
But also when it comes to like, because you know how I said like some men are naturally like they want to pay all the bills. Mm-hmm. Sometimes like when some people who do pay all the bills will hold that against you and be like, why are you questioning who I'm with, or why are you concerned that I'm cheating on you because I'm paying all these bills? Like they'll make their relationship a transactional relationship rather than an actual one.
They see their own fathers doing the same exact
thing. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. When African men are modernizing, they're still keeping those, like Stephanie said, those mannerisms. Like, oh, my dad treated my mom like this because he paid all the bills. No, which is really not the case. But you know, oh God, these African men, they're entitled.
They're really, they definitely.
Entitlement is one thing that I don't think will change with them. It's no matter what generation. I let me just say some of them, because there's some of them they're reformed. I don't know. Jesus blessed them. They covered them with everything.
Visited them in the
but with some of them is just like, damn.
How do you guys feel about, like, you know, some African cultures, they do have multiple wives?
Jesus Christ!
Keep that to your culture.
In my life.
She said some cultures. I don't know about mine.
That's not my culture.
Mine?
Actually, I don't think it is.
It is our culture.
It is.
Well, that's not my culture.
Not my president, but okay.
Yeah, definitely.
But I feel like, you know, like Stephanie said, like, although like the culture is more modernizing right now, they still keep those mannerisms. They won't necessarily have multiple wives, but they will have multiple females if they're entertaining. Right. And their excuse will be, "But you're my wife."
Exactly. They treat it like it's something transactional.
You're going to be my wife, so
why are you worried about so and
so?
Exactly.
What?
Talking about at the end of the day, you're coming to me. What?
Excuse me?
After you've been ganging with how many women outside? Please.
Yeah, no, I can't see myself in a household where I'm wife number 1 or 2 or 3.
Oh my gosh.
Because like if you're only one, why am I the one not enough for you?
Exactly.
But I'm not putting down other I'm not putting that down if you are like in a relationship where you are like one. That I'm just saying it's not my aesthetic.
It's different. If you're okay with that, then you're okay with that. If that's something you want, if you want to be in a polygamous relationship,
that's on you.
Be in a polygamous relationship.
Do what you gotta do.
But some people will try to put you in a polygamous relationship without you knowing.
Exactly.
Bringing home wife to what happened?
Bunch of women
in my room, surrounded in my room.
Hey.
Oh, next thing you know, you're just going. Next thing you know, you're doing social media and you're checking your DMs to say, "I'm coming to you as a woman."
Exactly.
Please
come to me.
Keep
as a
yourself.
Literally, come to me as the gun.
No, for real. The machete. Hey.
Don't come to you as a fist. I don't know.
Funke loves me too. Please leave me alone.
Don't tell me those things. And the thing is, like with African men, like they know that it's so taboo to get a divorce. So it's like they could get away with these things. Just because, you know, if you want to get a divorce, like, you know, your family's gonna look at you like,
are you crazy?
And your mom, you ask aunties, they're gonna tell you all those. They're gonna be like, just be there.
The Vumilia too. Vumilia means just persevere. Yeah. They always say, especially kid.
Why you wanna do this? Just relax. Just calm down.
Basically, what you're telling is keep putting myself in hell and keep letting my whole body burn.
Oh, and they'll always say it's for the kids. For what kids? They don't even. The kids don't even want me there.
Stuff and leave.
That's another thing I've noticed in African relationships, like. they will never leave, no matter how toxic it gets.
They don't like to believe in divorce.
Once they come and stay, they come and stay forever.
And once they leave, if they do leave, if they have the strength to leave, that whole the family does not speak to them.
No, taboo.
Yeah.
Hey.
At that point, you're downcast. Please leave yourself. Don't ever interact with that auntie. Can you see she left the husband?
She bewitched him, and that's why he left.
That's what
they will literally kill you off from the storyline.
They always say the bewitching.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Can I have my own brain? I can leave too. Like, no, that's the thing.
Do you guys like think that like African men? Wait, hold on 1 second. Let's do pineapple over. Okay. Now that we're back, let's talk about how African men, like, they're not allowed to, like, bring down, like, not their egos, but, like, they're not allowed to be soft. Like, growing up. Do you think that affects how they pursue?
I told y'all, toxic masculinity, African men. They're so crazy with how they view each other.
I feel like it definitely can affect the relationship because now, if a woman comes to you, you might not be an emotional person, but if a woman who is emotional comes to you and like all she wants to do is just express her emotions, you're gonna turn around and be aggressive because you're not used to somebody expressing emotions, or you're not used to putting yourself in another person's shoes and being able to feel what they feel. Yeah. So now you're gonna create an argument when in reality she just wanted to let you know how she felt, and it could be vice versa. You're bottling up all your emotions and you're being so passive aggressive because you're not speaking out about what the actual issue is, and you're expecting her to read your mind and still do those things for you when you're being a rude person and an angry person at that.
I feel like with African men, when they're brought up, because I also have a brother, you're brought up to be strong.
Yeah.
You're brought up to be so strong that you could protect your family, so you could provide for your family. You're not supposed to be the one. I've seen my dad cry maybe once in my entire life.
Crying is weak to them.
Yeah.
Crying is weak. Like, African men are meant to be so strong. They're only meant to provide, bring the money, and take care of the house. Like, make sure everybody in the house is okay.
Which is
but then
so
when
sad.
it spills over into a relationship, especially like nowadays, where we're becoming more vulnerable and more open, it becomes like very toxic. It's like if they had like a bad day at work and they cannot come home and tell you about it and talk to you about it, maybe they'll come home and be like, oh, they'll give you an attitude, or maybe
useless,
or maybe they'll step out of the relationship and go talk to some other like female, and their excuse to come back, I'm paying the bills.
Yeah, I feel like African men especially were definitely not taught how to communicate their feelings in that aspect, and that definitely you can see it translate over into many aspects of their life, like having problems with their wives, having communication problems, even raising their own children. Like they have such like. They were never allowed to. They were never basically what Sophie's saying. They were never allowed to be soft or whatever. So like all that is building up inside them, and they don't know how to express it or even like release it. And now it's just causing problems in the home.
Yeah.
And right now, as it's being modernized, clearly like the African men nowadays, like it's being modernized, but like not obviously like not as fast. But like the African men listening to. It's okay to get therapy or
mental health. Think about your mental health. Put it first. You can put it first.
Don't listen to your dad. Mental health exists though. Go get help.
At the end of the day, you want to break generational curses. You cannot have, you're over here complaining to your girlfriend, complaining to your friends. Oh, this is how my dad was. This is because that's how my dad was. This is how I am. And then you don't want to make the act of change to change. So you stay in the same situation and you're putting the same issues to your kids.
Because they say that's taboo. African communities, we don't talk about mental health.
We don't.
And you know what's funny? Like the African men that I meet nowadays, they're always talking about, oh, my dad treated me like this and he never wanted to hear me out and listen to me. But you're still taking those same issues into a relationship that, like, let's say into a marriage, and you're doing the same thing.
Exactly.
You're going to make your kids feel the same way you felt.
Exactly.
If you don't
and instead of trying to use that as an excuse to be like, I'm like this because my dad never let me express my emotions. Okay, so learn how to express your emotions correctly and healthy.
Right.
So now you don't always have to bring up your dad in every single situation. It starts to become an excuse, and now you know the way you're acting is not okay, but you're still continuing to act that way.
But they have that in their mindset, seeking therapy is me being weak.
It's not you being
real.
weak.
And therapy, it goes into a loop.
Let me tell you this. Asking for help is strong.
Exactly.
Because asking for help is hard. Because nobody want to ask for help. So if you're in the state that you even ask for help, it shows your strength.
Exactly. And it shows that you're willing to take that step to better your life and make sure that all the relationships around you are in good standing.
Yeah. And you know how hard it was for you to grow up in the African households why would you not want to take the right steps to better the life of your future children? Or maybe, like, you saw how, let's say, how your mom was treated. Like, why don't you want to better yourself for your future wife and stuff like that? But I don't know. African men, they can be so great, but they can also be...
I've seen, like, the strength. I mean, growing up, having African brothers, I see, like, I don't think there was a time where my mom was like, oh, you have to be strong. But it was just more of, like, you know, an unspoken thing.
Like
you have to be strong. And then I feel like it's also hard when you're growing up, when you get a spanking, it's, why are you crying?
Yeah.
So now it's, in my head, crying means weakness.
Yeah. Oh, you're a man.
You're a man. Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
Especially when it's tied to your feeling, you've been hurt, but they expect you not to cry.
Right.
And they tied because that's your gender. You're a man. Why are you crying?
Exactly. Hey. So when it comes to, the situation I was in when, like, my mom passed away, the first time I saw my brother crying was the funeral. That was the first time.
Crazy.
That is the first, from the beginning to that was the first time. And it's because you grew up in the point of, like, oh, you're not supposed to cry, until you bottle everything up, like all the issues and all the trauma, and then you're like, damn, I'm crying and I don't know why I'm crying, I can't stop it. So it's more of a sense, it has to be a sense of, it's okay to cry to an extent, because vulnerability is strength.
Because one way or another, those emotions are going to come out.
Yeah. But it depends on how they come out.
If it doesn't come out with you crying, it might come out with you stepping out of your marriage. It might come out with you maybe abusing your wife.
Right.
It might come out
yelling at your
children.
Yelling at your children, or acting the same way your father did towards your children. Like, you know what? Hey, these are
forbid, though.
God forbids.
It's crazy.
What did we learn today, guys?
What we learned for me is vulnerability is strength.
Yeah.
100%.
Definitely.
It is okay to be like, I was hurt. It is okay to be like, I'm feeling this way. And not showing that. I think a lot of African men, they translate that into anger instead of being like, I am, because anger is a secondary emotion.
So you being sad.
Yeah, so it shows that you're sad.
Tap into your sadness.
And be like, why am I sad? Why am I putting into that, forcing it into being anger? Because anger some people say like, oh, anger, it has to be shown with, me lashing out at something. But anger could be shown out you lashing out yourself. That's self-sabotage. You're angry about something, and then you're causing relationships to drift because you're self-sabotaging. But yeah, vulnerability is definitely key.
I learned that as much as there is negative sides to, like, African men, but I feel like that is rooted in how we were raised and brought up. There is so much positivity to marrying an African man, especially as an African woman. Like, I love my African man.
Yeah, I really do.
Y'all got some issues, but we can fix it, baby.
If you're willing to work too, not because I'm gonna do it for you.
Because I just think, like, the culture is so beautiful. Like, of course, it's getting modernized and stuff like that. And, you know, some African men might not think it's, we didn't even speak about that.
What?
How, like, you know, it was, like, deemed as uncool to add, like, your like, to talk about your culture and stuff like that. Maybe, like, the food that you brought or whatever.
Oh, God.
Maybe that,
goodness.
like, translated.
God forbid if I brought fish to school.
Who's cooking a leg? It's just my small chicken cooks. My small chicken
Exactly. And that, like, made them feel like, okay, if I marry a white woman, maybe it would stop. Or stuff like that. I would want my kids acting
That's you projecting your own insecurities to your life.
Have you noticed, like, sometimes, well, my mom used to say this all the time, when African men are in interracial couples, they treat their wives so much better.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like they're trying to prove themselves to the white woman.
They are. That's really what it is. They're just trying to prove themselves and be like, yes, I am worth it. Yes,
because they feel like, I've won this white woman. Like, you haven't won anything.
And I wouldn't say all.
You trying to?
But I'll say
I'm not gonna say
the ones that we've seen.
You're trying to prove master. That's what you're trying to do.
But it's just very strange.
I feel like I see it as like they feel like a trophy husband. Like, I've been chosen to be with a white woman.
That's
like,
literally master.
They see it as like
superior to other black. That's not even
superiority.
What did you learn, Stephanie?
I feel like I learned how to. Well, not learned. I feel like through the conversations that we have, I've learned sort of like I need to have like certain conversations with my own partner, and like, because I am weary of when it comes to that stage, and like we're talking about marriage and, you know, integrating our families, like sort of setting that boundary where I'm not feeling like I sort of have to prove myself to his family, or he feels like he has to prove himself to my family, or sort of like being understanding of like noting like the certain things that we expect from each other, basically. Like I don't want to be scared to come to your mom or whatever, and I don't want your mom to feel like they can't talk to me because you told them, like, you know, this is the boundary I put. Like, I definitely want to have that community, but like also have like the respect between us. Like, I want to have clear respect between me and my partner's family, and be like, you know, this is how we are in this relationship, and I understand traditions or whatever, but at the same time, this is my relationship, and I sort of just being able to set that boundary, you know. I don't want any overstepping, any like, oh, you didn't do this, and now it's like causing problems in my relationship because of what's going on behind closed doors when I'm not there. So yeah, that's what I learned.
I feel like what I learned is just like that that it's okay. I guess that it's okay to publicly say you like African men.
It is.
Accept it.
No, but I do. I definitely feel like I would want to marry an African man. Obviously, you know, God might have a different plan, you know what I'm saying? But that, you know, some African men might also need help with certain things that they might not have learned healthy in their home, and that I'm willing to, you know, help them in our home. So, yeah.
I love the our home.
Yeah.
Very cute.
And I also learned that we are modernizing as like a culture. I'm just hoping that, you know, like, yes, we are modernizing. I just hope we don't lose the language.
Yeah, like
that's one thing. Like,
that's definitely something I want to.
I don't want to lose the language. Like, definitely, like, let's just keep speaking. Don't forget what that white man said. Forget what that white lady told you. Just because we're in America does not mean we gotta speak English all the time.
Yeah, you don't.
Fight for your roots. Fight for your roots.
Please speak it, and speak it well.
I think something I learned. Oh wait, I already said it was something I learned.
Yeah, you did.
More?
Wait, no, I just forgot.
Now what do you claim?
What are we claiming this week?
An African man.
I mean, I'll claim an African man, but again, God has His own ways of what He wants. Whoever my kingdom husband is my kingdom husband.
Yeah.
But I would claim healing for African men, because at the end of the day, my son is gonna be an African man, so I would love healing for him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Or any other African man.
I'm claiming healthy love.
Yes.
Healthy
Amen.
love.
Amen.
Love that's not a struggle love. We're so used to struggle love. Like, it's not love. You have to fight. I don't want to fight for anything. I want the love to come naturally.
Why do I have to fight for that?
No struggles. Just obviously, you know, there's working together, but it shouldn't be a struggle love. I'm wishing healthy love for all my African men and all my African women. Yeah, and easy love.
Definitely.
Soft love.
I'm wishing peace unto my African men. Have peace. That's what I gotta say.
Peace and prosperity.
Peace and prosperity. And that you don't have to compete with an African American man.
Please.
Or like a white man or a Hispanic man. Compete with yourself. You know how your dad taught you to raise your queen. That's how you should raise them.
Yeah.
And if they didn't show you how to raise a queen, make your own
judgment.
Make your own.
You know the difference
And
between right and wrong.
Culture.
Make your own. Because
don't let it die out.
Be yourself. Be your true, authentic self. God made you that way for a reason.
100%.
So yeah.
Because a lot of us didn't have a blueprint.
No,
I mean,
we're definitely writing the map as we go. I don't know where I'm going. I'm writing.
I'm like, I didn't like that, so I'm gonna
go here.
I'm at the block.
Right.
And that's all for today, y'all.
Thank you guys
for coming.
See you next episode.
Bye.